Hi, this is Regina Y. Favors. I have a new series titled Overcoming Hate Setback Series. And so this is basically the introduction to the series. And I have taken upon myself to address hate because I was watching a YouTube video of the YouTube channel was Big Ward the Genius. And he had a particular video, and I think it was titled "Dear Black People, Stop Telling Black People Everything You're Doing." And in the middle of the video, he makes an interesting statement that it just caused my whole heart and mind to leap. And what that statement was haters don't want your help. And I don't know how many times that we might have heard that. I'm quite sure he's not the originator of that statement, but the lead up to what he was discussing was about a woman who took over the role of a black woman who took over the role of a white man that she served for 12 years. And then when she took over the role, the other black people who were employees also, they decided to quit just because she was not going to be in charge of them. And it was a prime example of people hating on people, and he made it about black people hating on people uh, once they get into particular roles. So I thought that was very interesting, and I just kept replaying that and replaying that, and because it hit so much closer to home because of my own experiences, childhood, romantic relationships, friendships, right? And that a hater doesn't want your help says so much. It's not just a hater doesn't want to help you, but a hater, as he noted within the particular video discussion, that they would rather starve to death than to let you help them. That I'm quite sure you have someone in your life who has uh, sort of act like they wanted your help, but then when you push to help them, or if they didn't ask for your help, you just offered your help because you heard the situation. You heard them, talking about the situation, and you say, "Hey, I got the help." And somehow the push and pull, instead of receiving your help, they just decided to reject you. And they reject you, but at an arm's length. Like, for instance, they will push you to pull you back, or they'll keep you at arm's length, go through this whole emotional, mental, psychological exercise of rejecting you, and then sort of gaslight you at the same time, to make it seem like, oh, you just don't want to help them, when in reality you've been trying to help them. And so I just thought that was very interesting, because the dynamic between people, of course, has been studied. And we usually think about hate in terms of racism, erase racism, right? Erase the hate. But you can have everyday hate with people. People who hate you because you do something very well. People who hate you because of the knowledge that you have. And the knowledge that you have required you to pick up a book and read it. Essentially, you don't come out of the womb knowing that information. You have to pick up a book, read, test, receive instruction, etc. But they're going to hate you for the very thing that they can get themselves, or or do themselves. Okay? They can hate you for the money that you have. They can hate you because you're good with your money. They can hate you because of the house that you have. They can hate you for a number of reasons. Well, one of the things that I was thinking about, because I put this presentation on hold so that I can get a good understanding and think about it and reflect on it. And one of the things that I realized with hate, with people who hate you, it is essentially that they don't want to change. It is something in you that they need, and it is something in them that you need, and you're willing to receive for the person from the person, but the person is not willing to receive from you. And so they think what they do is they hoard knowledge, or they hoard skill, or they hoard talent and gift, or they hoard capacity, capability. They have it to give, or they have the capacity to do it, but they are refusing to do it. And so they withdraw help, they withdraw any instruction or wisdom, knowledge, anything like that, out of pure hate. They don't want you to have it, they don't want you to know it, they don't want you to move forward. It reminds me a lot of Jonah in the Bible, and God's sending him to Nineveh to preach to the people, and he refusing, and he decided to go his own way, which led to a boat, and then he was on the boat, and then the men kicked him out off because the boat was going crazy, and then he falls into a whale, a big fish, and then he stays in there, I think, for 3 days, and then the fish spits him back out, and the fish spits him right back out where he started. And so then he ends up having to go to Nineveh and preach, right? And he still have an attitude, even after he did that. He's basically saying, "See, I told you that they will be better, right? But that was the whole goal. That your goal in a person's life, right, depending upon if you're supposed to be in that person's life and add any value, is to improve their life in the same way that if they're supposed to be in your life, they are supposed to improve your life. But when you withhold, when you hate, and when you withhold and reject and push and pull and uh, reject change, you become stagnant. You stay where you are. You cannot move forward because a lot of times God will use people to give you something, right? Whatever it is, to move you forward. They represent a door. There's a scripture in the Bible, I think Revelations, that God opens doors that no one can close and closes doors that no one can open. And if God is using a particular person as a door, you're walking through the door, that person holds a specific set of knowledge, or a specific set of skills, or wisdom, or financial provision that God is using that person to help you with. If you reject that person, you may never get what it is that you need to get to the other side, because God is using that person, and if you are rejecting that person, and it depends on God and his prerogative whether or not he brings that person back around seasonally. But if your season is supposed to, if a particular season is supposed to be you walking through a particular door, like my door, of course, was school, right? I went to college. I got a bachelor's, master's degree in English. I had a mentor in college. He was a door. He was a door that caught me up in my understanding about college and preparation and not being a procrastinator, right? Well, that's the same type of door that when my students come through my classroom, I catch them up. I prepare them for transition, right? So what I learned from a mentor, I now apply. And I didn't know specifically at that time that I was going to become a teacher. But it was important to learn what I needed to learn, so that many years later, that I would have that experience, that knowledge, receiving from him, to apply it in a more professional position. There's a particular individual that I was introduced to, and he's into marketing. And right before I met him, well, not met him in person, but he reached out. He wanted to create digital ads for me, um, for my books. And I was very not quite sure if I should do it, because even though I was thinking about creating um, a marketing plan and I was considering it, I wasn't ready to. I was working on the books. I was working on YouTube videos. I was doing a lot of other things, and plus I was teaching. But I said to myself, it came to me. I said, well, what if God is using that person to help you in this area? Now, I didn't know that he was going to be a door to marketing, it turned out that I got the revelation about that probably like a year after. And so in looking at his stuff, his website, and listening to a video interview that someone conducted, I heard I was able to discern what it was that was going on in terms of the marketing. And then for me, in order for me to retain it, I have to teach it to myself. So I created a presentation and I put audio to it. I did as much as I could so that I could understand it. Do you not know that that was the beginning? Oh, going through that door and accepting um, his help, and he's the one who created the Regina Y Favors logo. He never created the digital ads. Our business together came to a conclusion, no problem. But I learned so much in teaching myself the marketing, which resulted in the books, the video lectures, um, the conference attendance, exhibitions, all that kind of stuff. However, had I not gone through that door and accepted whatever help that he was offering, which was at that time the logo, I would not have been able to know what was on the other side of that door. It is so, I have created so much from walking through that door. Uh, the, uh, the favors marketing lessons, the video lectures, the ones that I created for him, the books, everything. And so, and I'm still working on it, and I'm still working on my tentative marketing plan. So I say all of that to say that the hate that you have towards someone can really be more detrimental to you. And it doesn't always have to be race based hate, it doesn't have to be political hate, it doesn't have to be, religious hate, it doesn't have to be spiritual. It can be straight up jealousy hate. Just you are jealous of that person. You don't like the fact that the person has what they have. And I don't know for certain if you really want to have what they have. It's just that you don't want them to have it or something, right? And so keep this in mind as you go through this series, Overcoming Hate Setback series, because you could really hinder your own way if you decided to not receive. You don't know what door God is presenting to you, whether you believe in God or not. Even if you were an atheist or someone agnostic or something like that, and a door presented itself to you through a person or through an education program or through a learning opportunity. It could be a conference. It could be um, a continuing education course. It can be anything that if you walk through that door is going to advance you. Now you're going to have issues, of course. You're going to have to learn something new to advance yourself. You're going to have to receive instruction. You're going to have to do the work, but it's a door. And so when you decide that you don't want to receive from someone, meaning that you have decided that you're going to hoard knowledge. You're not going to tell that person what they really need to know to move forward. When you decide to do that, all you do is really hold yourself back, because in telling that person, you're teaching that person, you're mentoring that person, but you also get to hear what you are saying to that person. And the more you hear, and it all comes from the Lord, the more that you hear it, the more that it becomes part of you. And then later you could decide to create workshops or create teaching learning materials or something like that. So you miss out on the opportunity. There's a huge opportunity when you decide that you're going to reject someone. You miss out on the opportunity to learn as well. Your jealousy is going to hold you back. Your hate towards someone is going to hold you back, and you can't blame that person just because you decided not to accept their help, or you decided that you're not going to let them help you. So this is Overcoming Hate Setback Series. You You can visit reginawhyfavors.com, the main website, as well as the online store, reginawhyfavorsauthor.com. So this is the introduction to the series. Thank you very much for listening.